Well, tonight we got UFC fights, obviously on ESPN, the first ESPN card, obviously to be nationally televised on true ESPN, not ESPN Plus, not ESPN Ocho, whatever it may be, ESPN right now, live, and the fights have been great tonight. But in the midst of that, I wanted to hop on the mic and talk about the March 2nd fight between Jon Jones and Anthony Smith. Jon Jones, it feels like he fought as recently as yesterday, December 29th, 2018. Obviously, he fought Alexander Gustafsson. Second fight, and boy, was that a hell of a performance from Jon Jones. I talked about it. You can go back and look into the T-Take archives, as I call it, and listen to my thoughts on that. But just quickly here to recap my thoughts on that. I really was just so impressed with the way he fought. He's a fantastic fighter, fascinating fighter, probably the greatest talent that we've ever seen inside the UFC cage. And now he'll be back again, this time March 2nd, to take on Anthony Lionheart Smith. And despite all of the uproar over Jon Jones and the actions and the steroid things and all that, I want to see Jon Jones fight. I want to see Jon Jones compete. I want to see Jon Jones continue to fight well in his career. I don't wish anything bad on the man. I want to see him fight. That's what he That's where he belongs. That's what he was meant to do. And he's a true great. But I also want to see him fight opponents that are interesting. I want to see some unique fights. I want to see some fights that offer different angles and different things. I've personally really do not want to see Jon Jones fight DC again for a third time. I know that's been the talk of the town, these last few months, but I really hope that fight doesn't happen. I have no interest in seeing it. I've seen it twice, the same outcome both times, albeit the first time Jon won a decision, second time Jon wins via TKO. I don't care. I don't want to see that fight. That's it. Okay, the end. I want to see Jon Jones fight fresh, young, new name contenders and enter in a solid contender at 205 pounds, a guy that I've really wanted to see get a title shot or fight in a number one contender fight, and that is Anthony Lionheart Smith. I have to say, among the recent number one contenders, amongst the recent guys that have been given title shots, I think Anthony Smith is one of the most deserving cases in recent memory. I'm going to go through the list as to why, and also let you know why this guy is so easy to root for. I feel like throughout my time watching mixed martial arts, there's been guys that have been given title shots, and I wonder, is he ready? I really believe Anthony Smith is ready for this fight. Now, whether that means he wins tonight or not tonight, March 2nd, whether he wins March 2nd or not, that remains to be seen. There's a select few guys that you can see while they fight how passionate, how mentally in tune they are with their own skill set. And Anthony Smith is one of those guys, finishing off Shogun, Rashad, and submitting Volkan Oezdemir, who, yes, for a split second there, did give Daniel Cormier a tough go. He was willing to really let his hands go and hit Daniel Cormier hard. And Anthony Smith weathered that storm from Volkan Oezdemir and ultimately submitted him, which was a really fantastic performance, and that was the one that he piggybacked into a title shot. So it was rightfully so, in my opinion, coming off that win over Volkan for Anthony Smith to get that title shot. And I really believe that, maybe Rashad was a little bit long in the tooth, maybe Shogun a little bit long in the tooth. Regardless, two legends, two former champions. It's very rare for a fighter to get a title shot where he's got wins over former champions. Usually a win streak is all you really need, but in this case, Anthony Smith did it against former champions and former number one contenders. So I really believe that Anthony Smith is ready for this fight, and I really admired his responses to the media. This is the most pressure-cooked situation of his career, biggest fight of his life, and he's asked about his chances versus John Jones, and he says something to the tune of, I feel like I have what it takes to beat John Jones. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can handle that. I can take that. So I really like Anthony Smith. I'm rooting for him to put out a good performance. I want to see a competitive fight, a fun fight, a fight that I think people will really look back and say, wow, that fight was way different than what I thought it would be, and really see some history. We might see him shake up the world. We might see him shock the world on March 2nd. Wouldn't that be something? I'm Ryan Thomas. It was my take on Anthony Lionheart Smith. This guy, so easy to root for. Win, lose, or draw, I should say, on March 2nd. He's got a fan in me. Take care.